As we head into the home stretch of 2009, many Americans are looking to see how they can make some financial changes in the new year. So when it comes to getting rid of the old and welcoming the new, what should you do to prepare your finances? Manisha Thakor, financial literacy advocate and author of Get Financially Naked, is here to tell us why December is the perfect month to take financial stock of your life. Manisha, welcome back. Thanks so much for being with us.
Great to be with you, Tanya.
So, Manisha, this past year has obviously been tough for a lot of us. One suggestion you have for next year is to calculate your net worth now. What do you mean by this, and how do you go about doing it?
Sure. So net worth is just fancy pants speak for taking what you own, subtracting from it what you owe, and the difference is your net worth. And the benefit of doing this exercise is twofold. One, it forces you to take a look at what you own and what you owe. Many of us have put our heads in the sand, understandably, over the last couple of years. The second benefit is it gives you a tangible tool, if you do this every year, to see if you are moving forward, if your net worth is growing year after year.
So, in other words, if you've determined that your net worth is shrinking, is that because your investments have gone down and your debt has increased, or it could be a variety of things?
It could be a variety of things, Tanya. And so the way I like the best analogy to this is like going to the doctor and getting your cholesterol checked each year. Could be your HDLs are going up or down,
right,
or your LDLs, or both are moving.
I see. All right. So once you've determined that, you can sort of lay down a plan of action for the upcoming year. And one of the ways you can do that, you say, is to clarify your inflows and outflows. I'm assuming you really need to get clear exactly how much money is coming in and how much money is going out.
Exactly. And so for viewers that are business oriented and they're thinking, basically what we're doing is we're creating a personal balance sheet with the net worth and income statement with your inflows and outflows. And the benefit of this step of looking at your inflows and outflows is twofold. One, if your inflows are greater than your outflows, you've saved money for the year. Ideally, you want to save 15%. If you're not saving at that rate, this exercise will tell you. The second key thing, and this is huge this past year, I've seen many people whose inflows have declined, but their outflows haven't adjusted. And so by going through this exercise, you can say to yourself, did we have a lifestyle change, a change in our life circumstances that we need to now adjust to?
Do you have recommendations to make how this can be easier for folks? Do you recommend using one of those online budget tools or just a simple spreadsheet?
So there are a variety of different ways you can do it. I think if you're starting from scratch right now, I recommend simple, simple, simple. So for calculating your outflows, don't make it complicated. Literally, just take a look over the last 12 months at your credit card statements, your bank statements, and any checks that you've written. Add up those three amounts. That'll tell you in aggregate roughly how much you've spent. If you've got problems, then you can delve into the tactical areas of spending that you may need to adjust.
All right, so you can just keep it simple. Straightforward. Now, your next tip you have is to savor your savings. Now, do you mean by this you should just sort of look at your pot and think, oh, I'm so glad I have it, or should you actually reward yourself?
Well, a little bit of both, in the sense that a lot of times I'll ask people, are you saving money? And they'll say, no, Manisha, I'm not. And then I'll say, are you contributing to a 401k or an IRA? So a lot of people forget that those kind of automatic programs are indeed contributing to your savings. So I'd like to remind people at the end of the year, congratulate yourself. Add up the amount that you have contributed to those types of plans. And the other benefit of doing this exercise is that it can force you to be cognizant to make sure that you're maximizing those dollars, because a lot of times people will put the money away but not think about where they're investing it or what kind of interest rate it's earning if it's emergency fund savings.
And speaking of investments, you say that now is also a good time to examine those investments and figure out exactly how they're doing. Do a lot of people, in your experience, Manisha, just sort of invest and forget about it?
Absolutely. And let me say first up, I'm a big proponent of buy and hold investing. I believe that nervous energy is a great destroyer of wealth. But there is a danger in doing a set it and forget it investment strategy. So once a year, I think it makes sense to stop and say, what is my asset allocation? What's my mix between stocks and bonds? Okay, now what do I have in terms of mutual funds in each of those areas, and how have they performed? Those 3 simple questions can help you make any kind of small or sometimes large changes to adjust to your life circumstances. For instance, the risk tolerance you may have had 5 years ago when you originally signed up for your 401k plan may not be the risk tolerance you have after having gone through the last 2 years.
That's for sure. I'm sure a lot of people have an adjusted risk tolerance. But now you also say that this is also a good time to look at your taxes and figure out how to minimize those. Now, that sounds great. No one wants to pay more than they owe. But how much can we realistically expect to shave off?
So at this point in the tax year, you don't have a whole lot of strategies left to work with, but one that a lot of people forget about is harvesting your tax losses. Now, that may sound really complicated, but all that means is looking through your taxable portfolio, so anything outside of your retirement accounts, and seeing if you have any unrealized losses. If you do, you can sell those positions, buy them back 31 days later, and that dollar amount can be used to reduce your taxable income up to the amount of $3,000. And if you have more than $3,000 of losses, you can carry it over.
All right, exactly what is an unrealized loss?
So that's, let's say you bought a stock and you paid $1,000 for your investment, but today it's only worth $800. You could sell that stock, and the difference between the purchase price and what you would get for it if you sold it today is your loss. It is not realized until you actually sell it. Once you sell it, that loss can be used to reduce your income on your taxes.
Very good to know. All right, Manisha, thank you so much for all those helpful tips.
ABC News Now. Good to know.